Welcome to all my beautiful sisters. Y'all know I tell you, you are strong, you are powerful, you are important, you are valued, and you were created with a purpose that no one else can feel but you, because God uniquely designed you to accomplish great things in this earth. Hey everybody, it is me, Kayla Williams, and today we are talking insecurities. We are talking about how to overcome insecurities as a fatherless daughter. And I don't know if you recognize this song that I have playing in the background, but it's called You Know My Name by Tasha Cobbs. And I love this song because our name is so important to us. Not just because, oh, this is my identifier in the world, but your name is so unique to you. There's no one that is like you. Even if they have the same exact name, they don't have your fingerprints, they don't have your DNA, they don't have your smile, they don't have your mind, they don't have your heart. And there's so much value in our names, but insecurities rob us of those values. Insecurity robs us of the purpose and the calling that God has for us. And so today I want to welcome everybody here. I am in a new place right now. I'm actually in Dallas, Texas. God is good enough to let me come home. I'm actually from Houston, but I came here to visit my family. And so if y'all hear some yelling, screaming kids in the background, that's because it's 3 boys here under the age of 8, and then it's a girl here as well that she thinks she grown. So it's a lot going on, but I still wanted to show up for you guys today because I know that there's a message. This message that I have today is for you. So y'all know me, I'm gonna jump right in because the thing about insecurity, y'all know I love words, definitions, really understanding the root of issues. And as we've been going through the signs of daddy issues or the symptoms of fatherlessness, insecurity was a huge one that I experienced myself, and I think daily a lot of fatherless daughters on their journeys continue to experience. I don't know about you, but growing up, people would always tell me, oh, Kayla, you have such a beautiful voice. Like, you definitely should sing. Like, I could hear just by the way that you speak, the tone of your voice, the rasp that I hear. Girl, I know you could sing. And I would always be encouraged to sing to people, right? I would always be encouraged to sing to people. But I never really had the confidence to actually let go and pursue that dream, that passion that I had of song and of really just blessing people vocally. And I'll never forget, because what ended up happening is my lack of confidence, my insecurity, it robbed me of my passion. It robbed me of the drive that I needed, of the courage that I needed to bless people with the voice that God has given me. And I got to college and I said, you know what? I really do want to sing. I don't want to be the person who never goes after their dreams, never goes after their vision because they have a lack of confidence or because they're worried about what other people have to say that's not positive, or they're worried about comparing themselves to others. Like, I don't sing like her. I can't do the riffs or the runs. I don't have the perfect pitch. And I would have all of this self-doubt. And I got to college and I said, no more. And it was amazing because I remember auditioning for my friends and I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm gonna sing I Love You, Lord. And I want y'all to give me the feedback. Like, tell me what you think. And I'm gonna do the same thing with y'all, right? Like, I want y'all to give me the feedback. Tell me what you think about this song that I'm singing. Okay, here goes nothing. I'm gonna do it. This is what I'm gonna do for my audition for the choir at my university. Okay, here goes nothing. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear. Let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. Whew! I was so nervous, y'all, when I did that. I was so nervous. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. And her, Kayla, that was good. Kayla, that was beautiful. They gonna have to take you. If they don't take you, they don't want a choir for real, because you out here singing them notes. That was lit. That was beautiful. That was awesome. And I get all this feedback that says, Kayla, you were born to sing. You are a natural vocalist. You literally exude singing even when you just speak. Like, there is an undertone that is just pleasing to the ear, that is warming to the heart. You could sing, girl. And I still left the room like, I mean, that was probably okay, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough for the choir, for Howard University Gospel Choir. It's not good enough for them. And I kept having those thoughts, and even though there were people that would pour into me saying, Kayla, you are gifted. Kayla, you are talented. Kayla, nobody has a voice like that. We need your voice. We need more of it. Can you sing happy birthday to my mom? Can you sing happy birthday to my sister? Can you just sing for me? No, y'all, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to step out and to sing with courage. I'm not good enough. And I constantly said that to myself about myself, because my insecurity is where I operated from. I didn't operate from a space that said, Kayla, actually, God gave you this voice. Kayla, actually, God gave you this sound. If only you would embrace the freeness that will come with opening your mouth without fear. If only you would do that. But you won't do that. And what started to happen is that my insecurity would try to rob me of those experiences, would try to rob me of that progress that God needed for me to make to help somebody else. And so as a fatherless daughter, you walk down the street and you look at girls and you look at what they have and what they portray, and you say, I don't have that. Or you scroll on Instagram and you see the highlight reel of everybody's life and you say, I'll never be that. I'll never have that husband. I'll never have that good job. How can I become an entrepreneur? No, that's not going to happen. And all those thoughts that I had went into my audition. But let me tell you, the beautiful thing about God is that I'm standing in the room and I started to sing the song. And as I peered out at the judges, they looked like, all right, we've been here all day. Like, we just, come on, sing a song. We're going to tell you if it was good or not and if you get to come back. And I'm so extremely nervous, but I know that I don't want my insecurity to rule me. I don't want my insecurity to continue to make decisions for me. Right? And because I didn't want that, I had to continue to step out on faith. I had to continue to step out on faith, even if I was afraid for my life, even if I was afraid that I would be torn apart on the stage. And I got to that stage and I just prayed. I'm like, God, just you sing through me. Like, you be the sound that comes out of me, because it's never been about me. It never will be about me. It's always about you getting the glory. I want you to get the glory out of my life, God, but I don't feel like I'm good enough. And I hear all these other people. I see these ladies singing and they can do all the riffs and they can do all the runs. And I hear these guys singing, and if you can tell that somebody was there for them, that trained them. They had a father that was teaching them the right notes and the right keys, and they had a mother that was able to really pour into them and encourage them. And God, I really need you right now to fill me up, so that what comes out of me is not my insecurity, but what comes out of me is the security that I have in you, because this is you speaking through me. God, I really need to understand what it means that greater is he that is within me. I really need to understand that. And I'm on the stage and sweat dripping, my voice a little shaky, like I'm Kayla Williams, that's me. Well, what song you gonna be singing today? I'll be singing I Love You, Lord, the hymn. That's what I'll be singing. All right, let's hear it. I love that song. And he put his head down and he grabbed his pen in his hand and started taking notes. And I peered at the judge on the left side, and she didn't really look too interested, but But she was still there. When I looked to the guy on the right, and he was just up, and he was just smiling like, let's hear it. He was the Paula Abdul of the bunch. And so I kind of paid my attention on him because I needed some light, some smiles, some joy to really give me the courage to open my mouth. And that insecure girl who never thought that she would actually be able to live out her dreams, to live out the deepest passions and desires that she's always had, she opened her mouth. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you. And I continued to sing the song, and the song that I sung, I was like, was that me singing? After the audition, I was like, listen, I don't even care what the judge got to say. Like, that was me singing just now. There was a confidence, y'all, that I sang with. There was a level of peace that I had, knowing that this was something that God was unlocking inside of me, that God was birthing through me, the power and the passion to lift my voice unto the hills so that they can hear the praises that I have for my God, and the freedom that my voice will bring for his people. And at that point, I was like, whatever the judges said, I did it. I was just happy that I had actually sung and that I didn't end up crying because I was so nervous and leaving off the stage. And I didn't think I would get a call back. They said, okay, we'll let you know in a few days if you made the cut. And those days went by, and it was just agonizing because on the one hand, I remembered that moment that I sat in that said, did you hear yourself singing? That was so beautiful. That was so powerful. It was so freeing. That's who you are, Kayla. That's who you are. You're not this fatherless daughter that has to operate out of deficiency, that has to operate in dysfunction, that has to operate out of insecurity. You are the daughter of God, and he has always known and molded and shaped you into who he's called you to be. If you would only believe what he has to say about you, if you would only believe what he's placed in you. And all those beautiful thoughts and empowering thoughts that I had, they were challenged by the years of doubt, the years of low self-esteem, the years of I'm not good enough, the years of comparing myself to every other singer that I encountered. And so there was this tug of war in my mind as I waited for this call to say, yes, you come to the next audition, you've made it to round 2, or thank you, but we decided to go a different way. And so if you're a fatherless daughter and you don't want to be bound and you have a desire to be free, you have a relentless desire to be free, then you'll get a phone call that says, Kayla, we loved your voice. We loved what you brought to the table. Please come back for round 2 because we want you to be a part of the choir. Here's what you'll be singing, and this is what time you need to be there. And when I got that call, it showed me that if I would only start to operate in security, knowing that God got me, that God has me in the palm of his hands, that he is my mighty fortress, that he is the father to the fatherless, that he is the freedom and the liberty that I can operate in, that he is the wings on my back, that he is the power and the authority and the dominion that I can speak with, that I can sing with, then the fatherless daughter identity can be removed from me, because now I know exactly who I am and who I'm called to be. So you may be saying, okay, Kayla, well, you said I need this relentless desire to be free, but I don't really know what that looks like. I don't really know how to overcome the years of insecurity, the years of self-defeating thoughts that I've had that I'm used to. That's the habit that I've created in my mind is self-defeating thoughts. I've always told myself that I wasn't good enough. I've always silenced myself because I didn't value my opinion or my words. I've always compared myself to other girls. That's why my father not here, because I'm not good enough. So how can I overcome insecurity? Like, how can I even get to the space where I'm saying I'm going to do the audition? How can I even get there? Because let alone being on the stage, I don't even know if I have the courage to audition in front of my friends. I don't even know if I have the courage to start writing that book that God has told me to write. I don't even know if I have the courage to take that certification to become a teacher. I don't even know if I have the courage to go to school, because I know I want a college degree, but I don't feel like I'm equipped, or I feel like I've waited too late. Kayla, how do I get there? One word, 4 steps. That word is face. And when I was putting this together, I'm thinking, okay, God, what did I do to overcome my insecurities? And he said very, very plainly, like, you faced yourself. You legit looked in the mirror and you said, Kayla, you have a choice to make. Either you continue to allow your present to be ruled by your past, or you will allow your present to create the future that God has always had for you. Which one do you want? And looking in that mirror, I had to make the hardest decision, but the most important decision in my life. Will I choose to allow my past to dictate my present? Or will I allow this present time that I'm in to become the drive for the new future that God has for me? And so I had to face myself. And so you, daughter who identify as fatherless, you who grew up with a father that was incarcerated, so you were never able to build a relationship with him, you who grew up with a father in the house, he was physically present, but emotionally he was unavailable, you who was never able to foster a healthy relationship with your father because of his own insecurities and his issues, I'm talking to you right now. And I want to challenge you to face yourself. F, forgive your past. Forgiving your past is the most important thing, because a lot of times our trauma will dictate the trajectory of our lives. The childhood experiences that we have, and y'all know I always talk about the bag that we carry on our backs that's titled childhood trauma. We carry that around into adulthood. We carry that around into our college experience. We carry that around into young adult life. We carry that around into our workplaces and into our professional lives. We carry that around into our relationships, platonic and romantic. We carry that around into our marriages. And when you look at that childhood trauma, it weighs you down because we're carrying that past around in our present. And so today I want to encourage you to forgive your past. Really think about, what is that thing? What is that root? What was that experience that you always desired to have with your father, but you weren't able to have it? And because you weren't able to have it, you tried to recreate it with young men, and you tried to recreate it with boys, and you tried to recreate it with father figures, but nothing is filling the void. What is that experience that you didn't have? Or what is the experience that you did have that made you say, never again will I trust a father? Never again will I trust a man? What happened to you, child? What happened to you, daughter, that made you begin to reject any male figure or accept too many male figures? What is it that you need to forgive? Who is it that you need to forgive? So that you no longer live out of the insecurity that your past created. A, accept you. Looking in the mirror and facing yourself is hard, because nobody wants to be exposed. Nobody wants to know that they have some deeply rooted issues that they didn't ask to have, but that they're dealing with. The years of not feeling good enough, the years of comparing yourself to others, the years of retail therapy after every heartbreak, have caused you to look at who you are, and maybe you don't like what you see. But can I tell you that there is someone that looks at you and sees the beauty in your ashes? There is someone that knows your name and knows who you are and who he has called you to be. And that is your heavenly Father. The beautiful thing about God is that he accepted you before you even accepted yourself. Romans tell us that God displayed his love toward us even while we were yet sinners, because he sent his only son to die for us. That is how he displayed his love. Even before you were in your mother's womb, God had already made it happen. He had already opened the gate that says, I accept all of you. I accept all of who you are. All of your mistakes, they were lessons. All of your trials and tribulations, they will be triumph in the future, because they will be the testimony that saves someone else's life. I want you to accept who you are. Accept the good. Accept what you think is bad. And accept what you perceive is ugly. Because God sees it all and he says, that's Kayla right there. That's my daughter right there. I created her especially for a time such as this. Can you hear God saying that to you? Even with what you believe is ugly, even with what you believe is bad about your personality or the things that you've done, can you accept who you are and believe that God has already accepted you? C, compliment. We got to start loving ourselves, y'all. We have to start loving ourselves. And Jacqueline Carr said it herself. She said, every time I get a thought that is rooted in insecurity, okay? Okay. Every time I get a thought that's rooted in insecurity, I have to fight that with a thought that's rooted in security. I'm going to say that one more time, okay? Because God just dropped that in my spirit. Every time I am faced with a thought that is rooted in insecurity, that's that thought that says, you're not good enough. You don't sound like her. You don't look like her. You don't deserve him. He probably messing around with somebody else, or whatever the self-defeating thoughts, the lack of confidence thoughts that you may have. Every time that thought comes to mind, I dare you to compliment yourself, to open your mouth and speak from a place that is rooted in security, that is rooted in the word, that in who God has already called you to be, who God has said that you are valued, that you are loved, that you are a holy generation, that you are royal, that you are unique, that you are called according to his purpose, that you were set apart before you were even in your mother's womb, that there is something great in you, that there is something that God has placed in you for you to do that nobody else can do. You are important. You are valuable. You are purpose-filled. And those are the compliments that I had to start saying to myself. Those are the affirmations that I have to begin to feed my spirit, because every single time something good would happen and I felt like I was making steps forward, I was met again with the habits of my past that said, you are not good enough. I was met with speaking and thinking out of deficiency because my father was not there. I was met with the insecurities that I had because I said, because he wasn't there, it means that there was something wrong with me. But I want you to know today that when you start to forgive your past, accept who you are, and compliment the woman of God that you have always called to be, your life will start to transform before your eyes. And lastly, empty. Empty the feelings of comparison. Empty the feelings of insecurity. Empty the self-doubt. Empty the lack of confidence. Get it out of you and put it at his feet. I say get it out of you and put it at his feet because emptying the feelings and the insecurities that you may have is the hardest part, because it's an ongoing cycle. It is an ongoing thing. It is the fatherless daughter's life journey that I have been put here to help you with. Emptying the feelings that you have had years to build up that said you would never be, or you could not be, or you should not do, or you cannot do. When you start to compliment yourself, when you start to combat those feelings that have been building in you for years, you start to throw some ideas away. The more that you compliment yourself, the more that you forgive your past, the more that you accept who you are, the good, what you think is bad, what you think is ugly, what you think isn't worthy of love, the more that you do these things, the more that those feelings that you've had all your life, the thoughts that you've had that said you would never be anything but a fatherless daughter, they start to decrease. And as they start to decrease, that confidence, that esteem, that value, that identity, that purpose, that woman that says, I have a father and he knows my name, she gets louder. Her wings begin to spread, her mind is unlocked, and her heart begins to open and soften to all the people that God has for her to impact. This is me, y'all. Every day it is a journey of decreasing the self-doubt, of decreasing the insecurities that I've had, and facing who I am every single day of this journey. And so I want to encourage you to face yourself. That is how we overcome insecurities. That is how we overcome the thought patterns that we've had for the past 24 years, for the past 17, 16, for the past 30 or 40 years. The way that you overcome that, those thoughts that say that you will never be and that you cannot be, is by saying, whom the Son has set free is truly free indeed. Is by saying, I am more than a conqueror, and greater is he that is within me. It's by saying that I know that my Father in heaven has a plan of a future and a hope for me. So my sisters, and even some of my brothers that have joined on this night, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for visiting me at this space and meeting me here so that you can begin to face and overcome your insecurities. Remember, forgiving your past, accepting all of you, complimenting yourself, and emptying any negative feelings that you may have are the 4 steps on this life journey that you have as a daughter who grew up fatherless. I want you to know that God has always been your father, that he will continue to be your father, and that you never have to feel like you are not good enough or worthy enough to bring all that you have to his feet. So I love you. I want to thank every single one of you for joining tonight. And I'll see you next week. Bye.